to talking about other points and the Falcons still playing well with injuries. The defense has got a lot better. They're getting to the quarterback. They're getting some turnovers. I want to touch a little bit on the 49ers game a little bit. Philip, what's your take on that? Do you see that being a nice, close, competitive game where teams are in the football, maybe low scoring game? What's your preview on that?
My preview on the 49ers Falcons game is I think the Niners are still going to beat the Falcons, but I think it's going to be closer than people expect. I feel like lately my takes haven't been that bad. I know that just a few days ago we were talking about the Raiders and Chiefs, and I was getting a lot of oohs and ahs when I said that game would even be close. And I know this game is no Raiders-Chiefs Monday Night Football matchup, but I feel like between these two teams, I really like their defenses. I really like their offense. I love Jimmy Garoppolo on the 49ers. I really like the way that they're starting to come together ever since the Trey Lance injury. They looked like they were very, very shaky at the start of the year, the Niners. Now they've gotten back into that team that people looked at last year and sort of surprised people by going all the way to the NFC Championship game. So the Niners are definitely a team to watch out for. I still think they'll have the edge over the Falcons just because of, their experience. They have a lot more experience when it comes to either veteran experience, playoff experience. So the 49ers definitely have that advantage. But I think this could be sort of a takeaway of a learning curve for the Falcons. They already see it in the Bucs. They're Super Bowl champions just a few years removed from it. The 49ers have been Super Bowl contenders in recent years. Obviously, the last time they made the Super Bowl was almost 3 years ago. So I think the Falcons can look at this game as sort of a learning curve. If they can beat a team that went all the way to the NFC Championship game last year, that's going to be a huge momentum boost for them. And I think they're going to look at that and say, again, we can hang with the best teams in the NFC. And I think this is going to be a big game that the Falcons have circled on their calendar because right after they play the 49ers is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. So these are two important games, I think, for them when it comes to a learning curve.
Absolutely. Love that breakdown, Philip. And this is one thing that the Falcons are doing this year that they weren't doing last year. Just look at the stat sheet. Multiple guys getting carries. Mariota, he did his thing on the ground. He had 61 yards last week. I'll give him credit for that. Running smart. And then Algier, not saying he's the best back in the world, but with his opportunities, he's doing his thing. Hurtley, he's all right. Williams, couple carries here or there. Arthur Smith, he's working that running game. It's looking a little bit better this year. Heads, tell me about your game, maybe prediction and preview, what you're looking forward to seeing out of the Falcons against the 49ers, and ultimately what you're picking that game.
Well, I can tell right now my pick, I'm going to have the 49ers. This same team that went through Carolina last week like they stole something. And let's be honest, Falcons and Carolina are probably 1 or 2 games away from each other. This is a team who said no Nick Bosa, no problem. They still got to the quarterback around 9 times, about 5 or 6 sacks. During that game, let's say even with let's put Deebo Samuel out the picture, Jed Wilson still got about 120 yards last week. So this is a team that's going to struggle, I think, against the 49ers. What I would hope to see next week is some type of defensive effort to try and get after Jimmy Garoppolo. I think one of the problems the Falcons are having is one of the problems that people are not talking about enough, I think, is their defense. I think AJ Terrell is having a subpar year so far. He allowed 102 yards last week against Mike Evans, whoever else that he was guarding. And the defense has to get after it. The defense has to stay committed to containing the 49ers offense as much as possible because we've seen it. Once the offense gets rolling, and they get rolling. And I don't even have to say that about the defense because everyone knows about the 49ers defense. Once the defense gets rolling on the 49ers, there's no stopping them as well. So my hope would be that the Falcons defense will make some type of unit effort to sit there and say, hey, guys, let's get after this 49ers offense.
Absolutely love the breakdown. Guys, I'm with you too. Philip and Hez, I think it's going to be maybe 23-10. I think that Niners defense, and yes, Wallace, appreciate you showing love. Niners do have some injuries. They're banged up too, but the Falcons are also banged up. I believe that Niners defensive line is scary. I think we'll see Kyle Pitts play this week. I think Kyle Pitts will score. I think this Falcons running game will be decent. I think Algier will play productive, maybe 50 to 100 yards depending on the workload and the amount of carries he gets. But yes, I am picking the 49ers. Davian, thank you for coming in, man. I know you're real busy, tight with the schedule. Who are you picking?
For the Falcons and 49ers, right?
Yes. I'm sorry about that. Yep, Falcons and 49ers.
I'm going to have to take the 49ers. The Falcons have been definitely showing that they deserve to be talked about in the league. They've been competitive for most of the season in their games. They just have struggled to finish games. So I think Marcus Mariota is doing an okay job at the quarterback position. Who knows if Desmond Ridder could be better. I think Kyle Pitts, if he's playing, will add to make this game close as well. I think they'll be close in this game as well. But I don't see them coming out with the win just because of how the 49ers defense has been playing of late. They held Matthew Stafford and the Rams under 2 touchdowns. They showed up against Baker Mayfield and the Panthers. I think the 49ers defense is starting to show them during the season, and I think they come up big again, winning 3 in a row.